Hi guys, it's your old pal Jim here, and well, I couldn't help but notice that the video I made about Back to the Future the ride kind of exploded in views. It got more views than I ever thought it would ever get. I would have been happy if it got like 5 or something. But yeah, no, it got a whole lot more than I ever realized. So here I am making another kind of video in that same vein, and hopefully if you guys enjoy this one too, I'll make more of them. I also want to extend a big thank you to everyone who subscribed to my channel. It really means a lot to me. I never thought I'd have 200 or so followers, let alone like 2. So thanks, it really means a lot. And the next video actually is about my favorite genre of sort of movie, which is sort of or television series or anything. I like murder mysteries. And well, what better way to start off this whole series of thoughts, commentary type videos than to go into one that I both like and sort of cringe at, than the movie called Murder by Death. Murder by Death is one of those rare movies that I desperately want to like, but I can't. I mean, it's got some funny bits here and there, but as a whole, I kind of feel as though it falls flat. Are the funny bits still funny? Is it still as bad as I remember? Well, let's find out together. Like any good old-fashioned murder mystery, it starts off on a dark and stormy night. We see a figure start to send out invitations to various people. One goes out to Mr. and Mrs. Dick and Dora Charleston, along with their pet terrier, over in New York. Inspector Sidney Wang from Catalina? Monsieur Milo Perrier from Brussels? Mr. Sam Diamond from San Francisco? And Miss Jessica Marbles from Sussex, England. After we finish with these invitations to literally a dinner and a murder, we are introduced to our first tangible and seeable character, the blind butler. So this is the first time in the movie, but certainly not the last time, where we're going to experience a feeling I like to refer to as the feeling of, what the hell are you doing here? See, that's Sir Alec Guinness. Now, if the name doesn't ring familiar, maybe this scene will.
Hello there.
Yeah, I'm as confused as you are, R2. So the next couple of scenes are going to serve as an introduction to our main cast of characters as they make their way down to the mansion. Now, the funny thing about these characters is that they seem to be parodies of real fictional characters. I'll explain as I go along. The first couple of characters that we're introduced to are Dick and Dora Charleston. They're upscale, high, polished, sophisticated society types that are based off of the characters of the Thin Man film series. I haven't watched that myself, but I'm gonna, assume that it's basically just rich people solving mysteries. The characters from the Thin Man film series also had a dog. Apparently they kind of modeled that too. They apparently made sure that the characters have a terrier named Myron. The next character that we get introduced to is Inspector Sidney... Peter Sellers, is that you? What are you doing? You've got so much talent. You've got so much charisma. What are you doing playing a role like that? No, wait, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. Maybe he's turning a new leaf in this one. Maybe he's actually not playing a stereotypical...
Treacherous road like fresh mushroom. Must always... idiot! Not finish mushroom story. You're idiot!
Oh, God. Well, how far into the movie are we in? 7 minutes? Oh, almost 8 minutes. I'm sorry. I kind of forgot about that part. And I'm already 5 hours into editing this thing, so, well, no turning back now. It's just, put on our big boy, big girl pants and keep going. A lot of apologies on the side, mind you. I love Peter Sellers, but I'm probably not going to include him unless I have to. Oh man, going on, we have Milo Perrier, a slightly less politically incorrect take on Agatha Christie's Hercule Poirot. And he travels around with his chauffeur, Marcel Cassette. Their shtick is, oh look, it's Hercule Poirot if he was stuck up and bumbling. Not to mention, he's got they're both have a thing about their accents.
Something is not right in all of this, huh? I can feel it in my buns.
In your what?
In my buns.
Buns? You have buns? You bought buns and you didn't tell me? Where are they? Where are the buns?
Oh, no, monsieur. The buns in my body.
You should not speak with an accent when you know I'm so hungry.
Ha ha! Making fun of stereotypes. And up next we've got Sam Diamond, played by the immortal Peter Falk. He's based on the hard-boiled detective Sam Spade featured in the book The Maltese Falcon, which also doubles as a movie. I'd say read and watch the movie. He's accompanied by his secretary, Tess Skeffington, who's based off of Sam Spade's secretary, Ify Perrine? I don't know. I was more concentrated on Sam than I was the secretary. Anyway, Sam Diamond here is a little exaggerated. Possibly off of his rocker.
If you ask me, Sam, this is a wild goose chase.
Nobody asked you, baby.
Yes, they did. You asked me. You asked me back there if I thought...
That was then. This is now. And nobody knows what tomorrow will be. That's the way things are, whether we like it or not.
Oh, Sam, I worry about you sometimes.
Don't worry, Dollface. I worry about him too. Anyway, through various trials and tribulations, eventually the guests start to arrive at 22 Twain. 22 Twain. 22 I just realized something. 22 Twain. 22 Twain. Two. Two Twain? Never mind. Oh, golly. Okay, so maybe this movie is a little funny. Anyway, as the movie moves along, you notice that there are multiple cuts to a mysterious figure that's doing all sorts of potentially nefarious things. And it's not until people get to the mansion where things become a little murdery. I mean, it's more slapstick than murder, I guess. You know, what with gargoyles being shoved down and the one person actually getting hit by it is just basically, breaks his back, I think. Guess it landed on his head and crushed his neck? I don't know. The guests arrive one after another, all in their own unique way, all finding out that this is a little weird.
Strange weather. Storm only outside when inside.
Oh, that's just one of Mr. Twain's little toys. An electronic device. Mr. Twain, as you will soon discover, prefers his atmosphere murky.
And I prefer my comedians with a little bit more class, Peter Sellers. I'm sorry, I don't mean to harp on and on about Peter Sellers in this movie, but it's just like... I don't remember him being so... that... I mean, I know this was a time back then where, we didn't really care much for, being politically correct. We were a lot more free range with our words and our actions and our movies and our character designs and such. But I don't know, man. I mean, at least it can't get much... Oh, son of a bitch. Anyway... As we continue on with the movie, people get settled in, they get gussied up in their nice attire for the dinner party that's gonna happen. We get introduced to a deaf and mute maid to work with the blind butler. I mean, it's kind of funny, I guess. As everyone starts to get settled into the dining room, we're introduced to Miss Marbles. Of course, based on Agatha Christie's Miss Marple. No, not her. Yeah, her. Her shtick with her associate is that She's taking care of her nurse. Yeah, she's the nurse is the one in the wheelchair and looks like she's about to turn to dust. And Miss Marvel is the able lady next to her. The woman in the wheelchair is Miss Marble's nurse. Miss Marvel is taking care of her nurse. That's what is going on in this movie? Anyway, we finally get introduced to Mr. Twain. I'm sorry, what? What do you mean, good God, what an entrance? That wasn't he just sat there, and lights are just flickering everywhere. That's all that happened, and you all look like you were just seeing the frickin' tunnel scene from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Anyway, in enters Lionel Twain, played by Truman Capote. Truman Capote. You know, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that acting isn't exactly his strong suit.
Merely games, Monsieur Perrier. Pitting wits with you, so to speak. I will tell you, Mr. Wang, if you can tell me why a man who possesses one of the most brilliant minds of this century can't say his prepositions or articles. The, Mr. Wang. What is the meaning of this? Look at me. I'm the greatest. I'm number one.
To me, you look like number 2. Know what I mean?
Oh, Mr. Diamond, I hate to say this, but the whole movie looks like number 2. Anyway, Mr. Twain finally explains things. Considering himself to be the world's greatest criminologist, he wants to offer the ultimate challenge to prove this fact once and for all. This was declared, of course, after he locks everyone into the mansion, cause, why not? A murder will happen at midnight, he announces. He won't say who it is, he won't say where, he just says that someone will die at midnight. He offers $1 million to whoever can solve it, also staking their reputations. Heck of a weekend retreat this is cracking up to be. After a ridiculous exit, everyone starts to panic, worried that one of them would be the murder victim. They all eventually agree that sitting in the dining room and holding hands would be the best way to avoid anyone getting killed. And, it actually works for a while there. That is until a death still manages to find someone in the mansion. The maid stumbles in silently screaming, more or less informing them that there's a death in the kitchen, and so the group decides to send 3 of their people to investigate. Now, see, this is the part of the film that I end up grumbling at. I get that this is supposed to be a spoof film, kind of making fun of the whole murder mystery scene, but it just ends up giving me a headache. I mean, one of the things that bug me is the constant barrage of clues being thrown out. Now, this normally wouldn't be a problem if the clues mattered. The thing is, the clues don't matter. It's like, whose line is it anyway? Except, with clues, they don't matter. The characters keep finding clues, one after another, but each contradicts the last one until finally they're all proven wrong and rendered moot. The only thing that remains constant is the fact that the mansion is a giant Rubik's Cube. Essentially, rooms constantly change and require little tricks in order for you to get to the precise room that you want. I found it pretty disorienting. Anyway, Mr. Wang, Mr. Perrier, and Miss Marbles navigate the maze of Rubik's Cube-type rooms that constantly change locations, only to find that the butler is dead. Poisoned, it seemed. After finding out that one of the butcher knives was missing, and after figuring out a trick to get to the right dining room, because apparently the Rubik's Cube mansion has 2 of everything! 2 rooms of everything! It sounds like a new ride at Universal, the Rubik's Cube Mansion. Maybe they'll tear down yet another childhood-loved ride to put it up. They make it back to the others just in time for midnight to strike. Upon the clock striking 12, there's a knock at the door, revealing Lionel Twain! Murdered! And now it's up to our detectives to figure out who done it. Remember earlier when I said how the movie would make me grumble about throwing around clues that ended up being useless? Yeah, we go into a scene where that happens again. The difference is that the clues are now motives for the murder of Mr. Twain. one by one, each of the characters accuse each other of having a motive to murder Mr. Twain, all eventually acknowledging the facts are true. So, they all have a motive to murder Mr. Twain. You know, at this point, I'd be disappointed if they all didn't have a motive to murder Mr. Twain. You know, I have a motive to murder this movie! Eventually, they all agree to turn in for the night and retire to their respective rooms. Of course, this isn't without incident, as each one of the guests encounter a deadly trap set by a familiar, mysterious figure. And as we're led to believe, each one of them meets their fate by the figure sitting at a desk, crossing out names. The figure is interrupted by Wang with a gun! Not something you hear every day. And the figure appears to be the blind butler! Whoa, wait a minute. Hold on, the butler. I mean, wasn't he... how did he... So, one by one, guests come out and confront the butler. I'm sorry, did I say butler? I mean Irvin Goldman.
Irving Goldman?
Actually, it's Mr. Marvin Metzner.
I mean Marvin Metzner.
Miss Eileen Twain, daughter of Lionel?
I mean Miss Eileen Twain.
That's right, folks. He outsmarted us all. Sitting behind that desk is the real Sam Diamond.
Or the real Sam Diamond? And Peter Falk's character and the secretary are just actors? No. It was Lionel Twain? Oh my lord. And apparently he starts off on a monologue about how all of these characters, in a confusing breaking of the fourth wall, and their authors, have created them, that the authors that created them have tortured readers by tricking and fooling them. Surprise endings that make no sense, introducing new characters in the last 5 pages that were never in the book before, withholding clues, thereby making it impossible to guess who did it. Twain then proceeds to blackmail these characters, detectives, whatever the hell they are, into keeping them silent about having him outwitted them in their own great game. Then they all quickly scatter, leaving the mansion. We're thrown a few more things as they all drive off. The fact that everything was fake, the fact that Peter Falk's character was Sam Diamond all along, apparently being in disguise. Lastly, we're treated to a final moment where Lionel Twain reveals himself to be the maid. The goddamn maid.
I don't understand, Pop. Was there a murder or wasn't there?
Yes, killed good weekend.
Oh yeah, you got that right. Okay, maybe I'm being too harsh on the movie, but I'm just so used to mysteries that I can actually follow, mysteries that I can at least understand, mysteries that don't outright lie to me at every turn. I mean, I've been a big fan of murder mysteries for as far back as I can remember. I mean, when I was a kid, I was a big fan of Murder, She Wrote, Diagnosis Murder, Columbo, and Matlock, and a bunch of other ones that I can't remember right now. And you know, there was a special crossover between Diagnosis Murder and Matlock where Dick Van Dyke's character meets Andy Griffith's character and they both work together to solve a mystery. And this was happening while I was in high school and I was telling everybody about it and no one really gave a shit. I guess I tried to take it seriously. I tried to view it as a legit murder mystery when in reality it wasn't. And you know what? That's okay. It's not meant to be a real murder mystery. It's a giant spoof of a movie that features some of the best talent in their time. Except Capote. I don't know what the hell he was doing in this movie. If you could just view it as something funny and not worry about trying to follow the clues or figure it out yourself, it's pretty entertaining. And as for Peter Sellers, well, at the very least I know that this is probably the only time he... Oh my god! Thanks for watching, and as always guys, remember, nothing ventured, nothing gained. I need a whiskey or some sort of... I don't know what I need. Well, if you hadn't noticed, this takes place in the Institute of Future Technology. This is, of course, a fictional institute that the ride takes place in because story. They actually made a story. They penned the story on this.
Let me just...
Oh!